Hi, I'm Liz Schrum of the Wisconsin Technology Council, here with WisBusiness.com, the show, brought to you by Grant Thornton and Madison Gas and Electric. On today's show, Tom Still, in his commentary, talks about Wisconsin's race to the top for education excellence. And Shawn Guse, CEO of Compact Particle Acceleration Corporation, talks about revolutions in radiation therapy and what it means to the medical world. I'll be right back with the WisBusiness.com stock report for early April.
What has made Grant Thornton one of the largest accounting organizations in the world, with resources in more than 100 countries worldwide? Is it their global capabilities, or is it their passion for how they serve their clients? Grant Thornton.
And now, here's the WisBusiness.com stock report. Rising, the Milwaukee Brewers. While they lost their opening day game at Miller Park, the state's Major League Baseball team is still seen as having a strong team and a strong balance sheet. The team's principal owner, Mark Adonazio, says the team now has 130 sponsorships. That's up from just 70 a few years ago. The team also has a new cable contract with Fox kicking in at the start of the 2013 season. That money will come in handy with the team's payroll, now around $90 million. And falling, Anchor Bank. A plan to rescue one of the state's biggest financial institutions has suffered a setback. The $400 million plan, 18 months in the making, didn't get the approval of lenders, including U.S. Bank. Anchor is under pressure from federal regulators to shore up its capital and cover bad loans. The thrift is selling some branches, but it will also need an infusion of capital in addition to improving profits. That's the WisBusiness.com stock report. Go to WisBusiness.com for more on these and other stories. And now, here's Tom Still with his Inside Wisconsin commentary.
Wisconsin's bid for federal Race to the Top education grants got a mediocre C- from the reviewers at the U.S. Department of Education, who said the state's application fell short in some crucial ways. That included plans to improve student achievement as well as the effectiveness of teachers. Wisconsin will get a chance to score higher in the second round of the federal competition, but it will take lots of homework to whip the state's application into shape. The idea of federal challenge grants to reform elementary and secondary education is a good one, but it's important to note Washington has historically played a limited role in how states and communities run their schools. In fact, well over 90% of all funding for local schools comes from the states and communities themselves, and Wisconsin is typically ranked among the bottom 5 states in receiving federal aid. In short, the race to the top in Wisconsin will likely be won or lost on the strength of decisions made here by parents, teachers, school officials, policymakers, and students. That begins with a commitment to excellence and a recognition that Wisconsin needs a better educated workforce to compete in the global economy. Let's take science and technology education as an example. A generation ago, the United States was 3rd per capita in the world in producing engineers, a key indicator of science and technology dominance. Today, the United States is 17th. In part, that's because emerging nations are catching up. But it's also because fewer students are getting turned on to science, technology, engineering, and math at an early age. Wisconsin doesn't need a federal grant to know what works in that arena. Many school districts are revising their science and technology curricula with the help of proven private strategies, such as Project Lead the Way, Science Olympiad, and FIRST Robotics. These programs are helping entire districts, schools, or individual teachers do a better job of exciting students at a critical age. The race to the top for education excellence in Wisconsin begins at home, no matter what happens with the federal grant. The real prize is a stronger economy driven by a well-educated workforce.
Thanks, Tom. I'm back with Shawn Guse, CEO of Compact Particle Acceleration Corporation, a Madison-based company that is seeking to revolutionize radiation therapy. Welcome, Shawn.
Good morning.
Compact Particle Acceleration Corporation does pretty much what its name implies. Your main technology accelerates protons into highly focused beams. Tell us why that's important to the medical world.
Well, proton therapy really is the next generation of radiotherapy. The problem with it is the size and expense associated with the facilities that are available today really makes it prohibitive to almost all hospitals. There's only a handful of centers in the world today. Our technology will shrink this down so you can put it in a conventional hospital and bring the price down dramatically. So we intend that we'll be able to make this next generation radiotherapy treatment available broadly around the world.
In addition to therapeutic uses, CPAC's technology can be used in other applications. Give us a few examples.
That's exactly right. The therapeutic application is really our first on deck product, but there are uses for the entire accelerator in both the security and research realms, and there are uses for some of our subcomponents, namely the optical switching in the telecommunications and power infrastructure markets. And those markets, although we haven't focused on them yet, are really much larger, multiples of 2 to 4 times what the therapeutic market is.
CPAC is a spin-off of a larger company, Tomotherapy, which itself was a struggling startup only a decade ago. What has CPAC learned from the Tomotherapy experience?
Well, we've learned a ton. Maybe a better question is, what haven't we learned? We've certainly learned to take the inputs and outputs to our product development process very seriously and tailor them. We get a lot of clinical input into what product features we're going to roll out to the market, and then we've also learned really how to be very focused in our product development processes. More locally speaking, though, we've certainly learned that Madison and Wisconsin can be a good place to do business, but it does come with its challenges, and although none of them are insurmountable, you really have to have your eyes open to those challenges and make provisions and plans for how to deal with them on an ongoing basis.
Thanks, Shawn, and thank you for watching this edition of WisBusiness.com, The Show. The show is produced by WisBusiness.com and the Wisconsin Technology Council, and sponsored by Grant Thornton and MG&E. Visit our websites to read and learn more. I'm Liz Schrum. See you next time.